PowerPoint, and it's full of Claude Monet's artwork. All right, so here we go. I'll turn off one light because I still need a couple to read. Can you find a seat?
Yeah.
Everybody can see?
Yeah.
All right.
No, go away.
Claude Monet was born in Paris, France, in 1840. He was a great artist and helped invent an important style of painting called Impressionism. So who can tell me, where is Paris, France?
In Italy?
Okay, it's. Can I get in my car and drive there?
Oh. No.
No, I can't. I have to get in a boat or an airplane. It's in Europe. France and Paris, which is in France, are in Europe. Many of Monet's paintings are pictures of water, boats, oceans, ponds, and lakes. And these were some of his favorite subjects. What does that mean, subjects?
Subjects mean that those like one of your favorite hobbies.
Close. Subjects. When an artist talks about painting a subject, what does that mean?
He's painting his favorite thing.
Things, right. A subject is a fancy word artists use to describe the things they are painting, because to artists, the things are much more important than just things. They're the artist's subjects. Claude Monet loved the way the colors reflected in the water, and the special way that the water makes the clouds and the sky look. Monet even fixed up a boat as a floating studio. He kept paints, brushes, canvas, and drawing supplies on it. Monet sailed up and down the rivers and streams, stopping to paint wherever he liked. It must have been fun. When Claude Monet was little, his family moved from Paris to a town of Le Havre, which was right on the sea. At Le Havre, ships from all over the world stopped to pick up supplies for their long journeys. Monet's father owned a grocery store that sold supplies to the sailors and shipping companies. Claude must have seen a lot of very interesting people when he was growing up. Claude Monet had a good sense of humor, but didn't do very well in school. He never listened to anybody, and he spent most of his time drawing funny pictures. He even drew funny pictures of his teacher. Claude became a very good drawer of funny pictures, and when he was a teenager, some people, who also had a good sense of humor, paid him to draw these funny pictures. Have you guys ever been to the beach or at the mall and seen those people sitting there with an easel, drawing people like this? They kind of look funny. Does anybody know what this type of artwork is called? It's called it's called a caricature. Monet was making caricatures of his teachers and of other people, and basically it's a cartoon version of yourself. They're really popular at the beach and at the mall.
I never saw them even. What does that bubble say?
It's just a little comic strip. The teacher's saying, "Mr. Monet, do you have anything to say about the ridiculous drawing you made of me?" And Monet says, "Yeah, I probably should have made the nose bigger." So that was just to demonstrate how he was a little bit of a smart aleck, right? Claude liked making money by selling his drawings. He kept on drawing until a well-known local artist convinced Claude he should try painting. Eugene Boudin had some new and interesting ideas about painting that Monet liked. Boudin thought artists should paint outside, not in stuffy studios like most artists during that time. Monet loved the idea of painting outdoors, and in 1862 he left Le Havre to study art in Paris. There he met other artists. Monet made friends with Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Alfred Sisley, and Frederic Bazille. He showed them how much fun it was to paint outdoors. Monet and his friends often painted together in the countryside. So he found other people that liked to paint like him, and they formed a little bit of a club. And they would go out into the wilderness and into nature and environment, and they would paint together. Monet wanted his paintings to become well known so that people would buy them. Almost the only way he could do this was by having his paintings shown at the Great Salon in Paris. Does anybody know what that is, the Great Salon? The Great Salon was an art gallery in Paris that people would go to from all over the world to look at paintings from artists that were up and coming or tried to become popular. Not like a gallery, but not like a museum, but the art gallery was more to showcase young artists that were new, had new ideas. They were trying to get popular. The Great Salon wasn't paying much attention to Monet and his friends, so he decided that they should have their own show. They wanted people to see how exciting their colorful outdoor paintings were, but the show didn't work out very well. Does anybody have any idea why the show didn't go very well during that time? Think about the time period. I'll answer that question in just a second. People in Paris in those days wanted to see paintings that told them stories about important battles or historical events. They were used to paintings where everything looked clear and sharp, and they liked the dark, moody colors like the colors in the painting above. So the people in Paris at that time weren't used to the type of paintings that Claude Monet painted. They were used to really detailed stories about war and historical events. Do you have a question? That's a good question. I'll talk to you about that later. So Monet and his friends were more interested in how something pretty looked when the sunshine was on it. They liked to paint ordinary things like a boat on a lake or rocks by the ocean or even haystacks in a field. A newspaperman called these artists Impressionists. He got the name from Monet's painting Impression Sunrise. So look here on the right side. At this painting, and then look at the painting that's on my left. See how different they look? One's very watery and washy and fuzzy, kind of. Looks a little foggy. The other one is very crisp and detailed, has really dark colors. That's why people at the salon did not accept Monet and his friends at first, because the one on my right was how people were used to seeing paintings. And at first, they really weren't impressed by Monet's work. Do you have a question?
About that one painting where it's all detailed and dark.
Yeah.
Nowadays, some people abstract art things.
Okay, yeah. People have different tastes, and they like different things.
When did he die?
Oh, I think we figured out yesterday it was 1920 something, in the 1920s. Even though people were not crazy about Monet's Impressionist pictures, he kept on painting them. He thought it was important to show scenes of everyday life, and he tried to make the colors, shadows, and light in his paintings as real as possible. So Monet was the original camera. His paintings were the original photographs, because he went out into the streets and into the cities and into the countryside, and he painted things that people saw every day. He painted things like his family and other people's family. He painted portraits. He painted landscape pictures of the fields and the oceans and the boats coming in. People were not used to seeing paintings like that. They were used to seeing all these story paintings, historical figures and battles. So Monet was kind of like the original camera. Now, if you take a very close look at some of Monet's paintings, you can hardly tell what he was painting. It just looks like a bunch of colorful brushstrokes. I'm going to bring this around. I want you to look at this. Kind of, but do you see a face?
It looks like two girls. I don't see no face. I see brown.
But do they have, look at their faces. Do they have eyes?
No.
Do they have a nose? No, not really. lips? No. Do their clothes? Can you see the buttons or the zippers on their dress? What else? Let's see.
They look like black eyed peas.
Can you guys see back there? Not really, huh? It doesn't even really look like anything.
It just looks like white paint on the page, not paint. Yeah, it does. I can see.
I would like you to raise your hand if you know what brush stroke means. What does brush stroke mean? What am I talking about when I say broad brush strokes?
It means like you take your brush and just do one stroke and you go.
Good job. It's the mark that my paintbrush makes when I put it onto the canvas or the paper. Very good job. So when you step back a little bit, it all starts to make sense. It's easy to see that the colorful brushstrokes on page 24 are really the two ladies walking along a cliffside. So see how as you stand back, those little tiny, quick, choppy brushstrokes start to take form and they start to actually look like something. This is one of the most interesting things about Impressionism, how the paintings look far away.
It's kind of like the last project we did.
A little bit.
When you step
Yeah.
away from it, it looks pretty.
Very good. Yeah, you guys
They
did.
get smaller when it gets far away.
You guys did a project on pointillism, and pointillism was a bunch of little dots. That's just another technique people use to paint. Now we're talking about Impressionism. It's just another technique. So the exciting brush strokes and colors in Monet's paintings give you the feeling of being right there in that moment. Like I said, he was for that time the first camera. His paintings were like the first photographs people started to take. Monet often painted many pictures of the same thing. He wanted to see how the sunlight changed. So let me bring to your attention that Impressionists did not stand in their studio and paint paintings for days or years or decades. They did not stand there and paint portraits of people for months and months. They went right out into nature and painted their subjects in under 2 hours usually. So they were fast painters because, like I said, they wanted to capture that moment. And if you look outside right now, in 1 hour, the sun is going to be different. In 2 days, the weather will change. In a week, the seasons might start to change. There's hopefully going to be more leaves on the trees. Yeah. In years, maybe you look out that window, we'll see a hotel back there in the field. You never know. You never know. The environment is constantly changing. So it was very important for the Impressionists to capture the environment just like they were seeing it. All right, moving on. When Monet was older, people finally started to appreciate his paintings. He settled down in the French town of Giverny and built a wonderful water garden there. This picture that you see is called the Japanese Footbridge, and this is one of Monet's most famous paintings. It's also included in the slideshow up there.
It's like an iceberg.
He did many, many smaller paintings of that larger one. They're also called studies. When you take a section of a larger painting and draw it again, paint it again, it's called a study.
Is it like that?
Yes, yep. That would be a study of that larger painting. He loved to paint scenes of the flower lilies, the water lilies, I mean, and his garden. And some of them were over 40 feet wide. That's almost as long as this classroom. That's huge. It's a huge painting. It's even said that one time he stood out in the cold so long painting a picture that his beard got icicles in it.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, he got washed off a rock one time trying to paint the ocean. That just goes to show you how much he loved this technique. He wanted to be out in the moment, capturing that impression that he was getting from nature.
In the water, making a painting.
Yeah. So I am going to teach you guys how to make brush strokes like an impressionist.
It's like that the pointillism up there. That's a sense.
Yes, very good. So, boys and girls, can I have your attention in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to bring around paper to your table. I need everyone at your table to have either a green, blue, brown, purple, or yellow marker. You only need to have one marker, but I need to have a variety of colors. So everybody should have a marker. All the markers should be different.
All the markers should be
Yellow, green, purple, or blue. It's alright, you can have two of one color. I just don't want everybody to have the same. So once you guys have the correct markers at your table, I'll give you your paper. You can choose blue, purple, or green. There you go. Now, the reason I'm having you choose certain colors is because we are going to make an impressionist picture of a pond or a lake. Most of the time, the colors that are associated with ponds and lakes and streams are blue, purple, green, yellow, brown sometimes. I need everyone to grab a piece of white paper. Now, good. There's a special way we need to make these marks in order for them to look like an impressionist painted them. Okay. So, boys and girls, look up here at me. We are going to make the marks on our paper go straight across, which is called horizontally. Okay, we're going to make horizontal marks on our paper because water doesn't run vertically. When we look at water in real life, it's flat, it runs horizontal.
Not always.
So, what we're going to do is you're going to take your marker and you're going to make straight, choppy lines. They could be a little bit wavy, but for the most part, they're horizontal across the page. And you're going to make lines on that paper until I say switch. When I say switch, you need to pass it to the person on your left. Now, you guys are going to be going left. Here is your left hand, okay? All right? We need to fill up our paper with marks. There shouldn't be any white paper left when we're done. All right? So, on my count of 3, you may begin. When I say switch, you need to switch. And we're going to keep doing this, and it's going to get fast. So, 1, 2, 3, go. And switch. Keep the cap on your marker. Keep your markers. Just pass your papers. Just pass your papers. Yep, make marks on the other papers you got. The new papers. And switch.
I need one. Don't make it too long.
And switch. And switch.
How'd you know if it's
You guys
yours?
shouldn't be using red. Just yellow, purple, blue, green.
How do you tell if it's yours?
And switch. And switch. You just keep going and going. Switch. And switch. Gonna start speeding up. And switch. paper nicely to your neighbor, please. Switch. Okay, switch. And switch. More marks. I see too much white paper. And switch. More marks. Switch. Remember, try to keep them straight across the paper in a horizontal fashion. Switch. 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 Faster, switch. 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 Orange Stars has the idea. Switch. Switch.
Go like this. Go like this. Go like this. Go like this. Go like this.
Switch.
Go like this.
Don't see too much white. Switch. Nice job. Switch again.
It's okay, just do it lightly.
Switch. Switch. It doesn't matter if you end up with your own, because you're just going to leave them here. You're not going to take. Switch. This is just a practice exercise. Switch.
It's hard.
It's fun. Try to come all the way to
Switch.
yeah,
Couple more. Roll fast. Switch. Switch. All right, boys and girls, stop, look, and listen in 3. Up here, 2. And 1. You should be looking up here. Quiet, please. I need you to put your caps up on your marker and put your markers back in your bin. And I need you to look at your papers. What did you make? Now, remember how we looked at Monet's paper and his painting, and we saw like stuff that really didn't make sense, right? Now watch. As I start to move further away, are my marks starting to look like water? Is this starting to kind of look like a pond a little bit? Yeah. Are the colors starting to go together some?
Yeah.
That is how you paint in the Impressionist style. It's very fast. You're not making a lot of detailed marks. Boys and girls, listen up here. You're not spending a whole ton of time on one little tiny section. You're covering the whole paper with random mark making, but with colors that you have chosen that represent your subject appropriately. So we chose the colors blue, green, purple, yellow, because we were dealing with water, and those are the colors that you see in water. Now, is water just blue? Who can tell me actually what color water is? Who can tell me what color water actually is? You don't know? Do you know?
Clear.
Clear! I didn't even have to go to the sink. Water is clear, okay? You can see through water. Do you know why it looks blue and brown and green? Who can tell me?
Because the deeper you get, the less you can see, so more color.
Yeah, kind of. But water has this very important property, and it's like a mirror. It reflects. So water looks blue because our sky is blue. Really, water is any color that is being reflected from the surroundings. Now next time, the project we're going to paint is a water garden. Okay? And we're going to use water colors. Now, this is watercolor, and it's made by mixing water with special pigment. And I did the exact same technique you guys did. It's just a different type of medium, so it's going to act differently. watercolor is very fluid and kind of clearish, like water is, right? Very watery, runny. And when I put it on the paper in that type of style, in the impressionistic style, it bleeds together and it runs together and it creates something that looks very much like water. It is very fast. It only took me maybe 10 minutes to make this.
Oh, that's...
Okay. Then we're going to paint the coffee filters to look like lilies.
Oh.
And we're going to replicate what Monet was doing by cutting out lily pads from green construction paper and putting them on our background that we're going to make to look like a pond or water lily garden. So you guys did a great job. I think you really understand the concept. You have a question?
Yep.
So at this time, one more thing. Could you please put your papers in the center of your table? And if you have a lot of marker marks on your table, could you please go to the back and get a sponge or a napkin?